Welcome and greetings everyone. Myself, Raimam Mehbub, student of Department of Peace and Conflict Studies, University of Dhaka, Batch 23, roll number 10. So today I'll be presenting and discussing on the topic of Mughal dynasty, the Aurangzeb era, and I'll be more focusing on the topic human rights and misuses of human rights in his regime. So let's not waste any time and hop into my presentation. I hope you all will like it. Aurangzeb, the man of the myth. Aurangzeb, whose full name was Aurangzeb Alamgir, was the sixth Mughal emperor of India, ruling from 1658 to 1707. He is one of the most controversial, also the greatest figures in Indian Mughal history. So, he was the third son of the great Emperor Shah Jahan and his beloved Mumtaz Mahal. He has four brothers of his. He has three brothers of his, where they are Darasiko, Shah Shuja, and Murad Baksh. I beg your pardon. So, if I focus on the parts human rights in Aurangzeb era, my presentation will be divided on some uh, relative topics here. I have divided it into conquering the throne, the war of succession, followed by religious policies, economic policies, and lastly, society and culture. So, it starts with the conquering of the throne. It starts with Shah Jahan's illness. So, as we know, Aurangzeb came to power with bitter and protracted war of succession following the death of his father. Before his death, Shah Jahan was ill. The Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan, Aurangzeb's father, fell seriously ill in 1657. His illness led to the conquerors about the future of the empire and succession of the throne. Then come the rivalry among the sons. The Darasiko, Shah Shuja, Aurangzeb, and Murad Baksh, the four sons of Shah Jahan, and Darasiko was the eldest and widely expected to succeed his father. However, the younger brothers, including Aurangzeb, had ambitions of his own. Later on, what Aurangzeb did was capturing his father, which here, to my point of view, violates a great potential and a human rights violation. So, if we discuss this topic furthermore, we'll see War of Succession, where Aurangzeb began the conflict with Darasiko declared himself when Darasiko declared himself as the rightful heir of the throne and received support from some nobles and regional rulers. The declaration led to a series of battles and skirmishes. Darasiko, the eldest son, declared war against Aurangzeb as he was the rightful heir. The Battle of Kajwa was one of them. Now I'll be discussing the Battle of Kajwa. January 5, 1659, between newly crowned Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb and Shah Shuja, who also declared himself Mughal Emperor in Bengal. Battle was fought at Kachuha, now a small town in Fatehpur district, Uttar Pradesh. After the war had held, there very bad aftermath of that, where the Hindu rulers of Kuch Bihar and the Ahoms began annexing Mughal territories, while Aurangzeb dispatched the highly experienced Mir Jumla II to chase his brother Shah Shuja, who fled to Arakan. Aurangzeb installed Shaista Khan as the newly Nawab of Bengal, replacing Shah Shuja, which one is his elder brother. And Shaista Khan was very strict with the Portuguese, thus emboldening their superiority on the sea. So now we'll open the part of religious policy. Aurangzeb is often criticized for his religious policies. He sought to promote Islam and imposed a more orthodox interpretation of the religion during his reign. Why? He imposed the jizya tax on non-Muslims, leading to resentment among the Hindu population. In his regime, He expected his fellow Qazis and ulamas would support his way of ruling, which is based on his own ideology in the name of Sharia. But in this matter, he tried to enforce which led many non-Muslim communities to lose faith on the emperor. Yet, with those contrary, we can see the image of Aurangzeb as a religious zealot. His early regime shows some signs of religious tolerance. He allowed Hindus to serve in high administrative position, and he issued a royal decree in 1659 stating that the Hindus should not be oppressed. So we see that it was not quite conventional or not quite well followed by the Aurangzeb ruling. In this site of margin, it is seen that the rights of normal citizens were broken. The rights were broken vastly. It was obvious that the human rights violation was very common in Aurangzeb's era. So then I'll put up a little example here where demolition of some Hindu temples in one of the most controversial aspects of Aurangzeb's rule was for his policy of demolishing Hindu temples. He ordered the destruction of several prominent temples, including the Kashi Vishwanath Temple in Banarasi and the Keshva Dev Temple in Mathura. His actions were motivated by his belief and strict interpretation of Islamic law, which prohibits the existence of non-Islamic places worship in an Islamic state. Now I'll be discussing the economic policy. In Aurangzeb's regime, he saw a centralization of power and focuses on the efficient tax collection. However, heavy taxation and constant warfare took a toll on empire's economy. So his main focus was the promotion of agriculture, where agriculture was a backbone in that era. His efforts were made to promote agriculture productivity. Aurangzeb encouraged the cultivation of cash crop and promoted irrigation system which contributed to increased agricultural output and state revenue. Aurangzeb, like many rulers in history, restored the practice of debasing the coinage. This involved reducing the amount of precious metal like silver, gold into coins, which led the decrease of intrinsic value. Debasement was a measure we used to raise revenue, but it also resulted in economic instability. Now, if we sum up the human rights in Aurangzeb's era, we can see some religious importance, social terms. We can see the intolerance against religions, direct destruction against religions, economic domination, and lastly, least cultural domination. So, uh, his regime witnessed the very destruction of human rights, we can say, but it is important to understand the evolution of Aurangzeb's rule in terms of human rights can be matter of historical debate. We are not sure about the topics whether it was good or bad for the community then which is situated in the Indian territory. As a critical as a critical student or scholar, we should not conclude or give any judgment about the period where Aurangzeb ruled, but we can surely say that it was quite controversial and conventional, yet good, yet falling down stage of human rights in the Mughal regime. It is crucial to consider the historical and cultural context when accessing human rights in given any historical era. The concept of human rights was evolved over time, but the standards of the 7th century were different from those at the present. Aurangzeb's rule had complex, multifaceted impact on the rights and freedoms of living his empire and historians, continuing to debate the extent which is represented and violations. Lastly, we can say Aurangzeb's regime is a complex and continuous period in Indian history, with ongoing debates among the historians about the aspect of the subcontinent. It is sheer to say that we can learn a lot from this Aurangzeb's era. So to conclude it, I can say if you have any questions and any feedbacks or comments about my presentation, you can comment down below.
And I hope you all like my session. And today I'm